You know,
Holy
it's a
shit.
good thing that I had to click the go live on Instagram also, and I'm sitting there wondering why the hell isn't it going live? And hit the fucking go live button on StreamYard. So anyway,
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 anywho,
welcome to season 3, episode 11 of Lawfully Chaotic. As with me always is my fantastic partner in crime and creativity, Jason Baldrick, the storyteller of TTRPG Academy. And tonight we're going to be talking about, there was some news in the D&D world, or I should say the WotC Hasbro world, because the two are very different things.
you are not mutually exclusive.
They
But,
are not.
No.
Yeah. And we're going to be talking a little bit about the Daggerheart 1.3 beta release. So
The
with
update.
the update.
The update.
Sorry.
Which is way too soon. Poorly organized.
Or are we getting right into this? No announcement.
Fucking annoying.
Okay. Well, okay. I guess we're jumping right into this. Hold on. You caught me off guard. Wait a second. Oh my God, I'm so slow at this. Okay, say that again.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah. So Jason,
you want to put the other stuff back up?
Yeah, thank you. Sorry.
Junior grade production coordinator.
Yeah, my head. So I apologize. My head has not been in the right place. We've got a sick doggy at home, and I've been dealing with that. So anyway, yeah, my head is like fucking. It's like a.
Yeah, the only announcements I have is I've got 2 new tables opened up on RPGclub.net. They're both Acquisition Incorporated themed events. They're basically anthologies where people can play a character for 4 or 5 sessions and switch to new characters and play 4 or 5 sessions. So giving the anthology thing a try with the AI background, the Acquisition Incorporated background.
That's
there's
really
local. There's a local game store which might be hooking me up for a premium table live at their game store. It's a beautiful store. They just opened 2 months ago. It's a combination cafe, game store, play space, and we were talking. We must have talked for an hour and a half when I was there today because Thursday's my day off. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Awesome, fantastic news. I'm glad. That's really cool. And I'm glad you're finally doing the anthology thing. I'm very curious to see how that.
Yeah, I'm gonna do 2 Acquisition Incorporated anthology. Then I'm gonna build a Faerun anthology, and then I'm gonna build an Exandria anthology. And I'm gonna build all 4, put them out there. I pulled down my Daggerheart table because of how disappointed I was in their upgrade document. You know what, 3 Miles? I didn't say anything bad about you. Don't force that corporate nastiness on me. Hey, bearded nerd, how are you, man?
Hey, Brian, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. We're doing good. Gotta get you back on this show too. Well, I guess with that, I don't really have any announcements. So,
well, fuck you, man. You got to be doing something in the gaming space. I know a good announcement for you. You're having fun on your Sunday games. I'm officially the center of your attention, right?
That's right. I am finally playing in one of your games, and it is awesome.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, except that you can't seem to come up with a except you can't seem to come up with a voice, you fucking mook.
Well, no, and
I know I'm fucking with you.
No, you're right. I couldn't, but now there's a reason.
That's kind of the point. A shyster and a kind of smuggle.
So
just
I'm playing.
I gotta tell you, your woman cover story, the old woman. This
Marva.
Yeah, Marva is my favorite. I like that one.
Marva is she's an old mushroom collector, and she goes around and nobody pays her any attention, so it's very safe.
When Gilda and Marva get together, they play mahjong. They play mahjong, and then they go to the sausage store to get sausages and potato chips, because sausage and potato chips, it's just such a wonderful food.
So I created a rogue wizard, which was kind of like I need to create a character for Jason's campaign. Boom, done. And I'm really, really fucking liking it, to be honest. I am really liking it. Yeah. So he's a tiefling rogue wizard, and he's got not multiple personalities, but he has multiple identities, which really just consists of, well, some of them are actually illusory because he has a ring of disguised self.
Right.
But he also affects different accents, big surprise, without changing his look. So it's kind of like, he's kind of too proud of his reputation, but he's also like, oh, I gotta make sure people don't recognize me, even though I want to.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's really fun. I'm having a lot of fun in your campaign. So.
Well, and quite the cliffhanger we left off of last week.
Fuck yeah.
The gangland brawl in the middle of Daggerheart.
A battle of 6 armies. Yeah.
I'm gonna have a lot of fun building that battle map because shit's gonna hit the fan.
Well, so far we're all still invisible and out of sight, just munching popcorn. But we'll see.
Yeah, except for the spider cult that just showed up.
Oh right, I forgot about.
Remember with the Drider leader?
Yep. Yeah, it's fun. It's very fun. So if you haven't played in one of Jason's games, you should.
You most definitely should.
Other than that, right. Other than that, I'm just I'm busy. I got a good workload, and a big chunk of that is Critical Role and Darrington Press. So I
got my new T-shirt today at the new game store that I went and visited.
Oh, that's cool.
Isn't that neat?
That's awesome. Yeah, I like it. I'm gonna have to copy that design. So,
I think it's who makes these? I'll have to look at the tag, but it's one of my favorites. Something T, little T, or they do the little bunny rabbit with the chainsaw and kind of the aggressive little critters.
Yeah. That's cool. I like that. So anyway, I love working with those guys.
So tonight.
All right,
I want to talk about one of the most amazing things ever to happen. Amazing. The proof in the pudding that the only reason she was there was to make money and be liked at the same time.
Wait, what are we talking about? We're talking about first. Yes.
Yeah. So Hasbro.
So this one deserves this.
Yeah.
Because I know we both have the same.
Like, it's got nothing to do with gender, identity, or anything. A horrible person.
So what we're referring to is the news that, what is her name?
Cynthia Williams.
Cynthia Williams stepped down.
The best part is you're right. She resigned. Steve, there's like no information at all for her resignation.
Yeah, probably because she saw the writing on the wall. But anyway, she stepped in.
She
took over after Chris Cox.
Fun of.
She took over after Chris Cox. Both of them are from Microsoft.
They're both assholes.
You said it, not me.
Dr. Cock. Dr. Cock.
And what did it say? It said in an article that I don't know. They said that she wasn't able to enact Cox's Dick's.
She wasn't willing to do Dick's work.
I guess not. But the whole let's turn this into all digital. So I don't know. Give me your opinion, because.
Well, I mean, they're saying in the filing, because when CEOs step down, they have to.
I think that's how it
their filing. So in her, in her SEC filing, she gave no reason in her filing notification at all. So my guess is that, like most corporate hacks, she's really only in it for the profit, but she doesn't want the drama of the profit at the same time. She's just, I think she's just one of those personalities that wants to be in the backdrop and just have that corporate experience. And I think she stepped on a landmine getting involved with the D&D WotC community and their, once again, their complete tone deaf reality of the customer base and clientele. I mean, I'm still very, very wishful. I won't say hopeful because it's not a good plan, but I'm still to this day very wishful that we'll get a benefactor at some point who will swoop in and rescue the D&D brand and buy that brand. Who knows? I could be wrong. Maybe she's resigning because, and she put no reason, because it was going to hurt her future goal of finding another position. Maybe she's resigning because of that $1 billion bullshit ploy. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe she hasn't done any interviews and talked about how she feels about the fact that 10,000 Hasbro employees, including 1,000 WotC employees, got laid off because they were $1 billion short last year, but then immediately turned around this spring and spent $1 billion.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know anything about her. I don't know her demeanor and whatnot. So I can't speak to that. I will say, it's interesting, and this is not in my wheelhouse. I mean, me and corporate don't mesh. We never have. That's why I do what I do now. In the capacity I do what I shouldn't say what I do. It's why I do it in the capacity that I do it in.
Yeah.
But it seems to me once you reach C-suite level, it's like, oh well, you must be able to run a company no matter what sector or what industry or what channel that falls in. Just because you have you've got that C in front of your name, right?
Yeah.
And I think Microsoft to WotC, or to a traditional game company, I don't buy it. I don't understand that decision in the first. Other than Hasbro saying, "Oh," which a lot of corporations do. It's like, "Oh, look at this guy's pedigree, so we'll bring him in." But it's like, obviously he had no business running it, because
I think
he wanted to take it and turn it into something rather than using his experience. This is just my opinion. Rather than using his experience to evolve the product, and I'm speaking about D&D specifically, he wanted nothing but to change the product. And I think that's why everybody lost their shit.
Well, and I think both Cynthia and Dr. Koch come from a background of Microsoft gaming and operations.
Yes.
So I think what Hasbro was trying to do was to grab people that knew digital gaming and bring them over to be to kind of alter that
and
idea.
Put him in charge of a digital gaming division. Don't make him, don't put him in charge of the whole kit and caboodle. It's just fucking stupid.
Hasbro's been moving everything into the digital space for the last 5 years. So, Monopoly, digital Monopoly is very successful. Digital Monopoly is making them a shit ton of money right now. Some of their, Axis and Allies, was a real winner for online Risk.
Mm-hmm.
We all know that there was an explosion of digital opportunity during COVID. And the real thing that people need to understand is you better look at your analytics post-COVID now. Stop looking at your COVID analytics as if that's a valid analytic. And it's not. It's got some baseline data that you can use to plan. But the reality is, I don't know. FCG. What the fuck is FCG? Full cock God?
Oh, fresh cut grass. Critical Role.
Fresh cut grass.
What does he have to do with I still think that's all well and good. Those games are in a vacuum. You can take Monopoly and you can digitize it. What the fuck does fresh cut grass have to do with
Look, man,
to expand on that. No, but my point is, all of those games exist in a vacuum. You've got the traditional version of Monopoly, and you've got the digital version. And in that instance, the digital version expands that game into to play a way that it wasn't before. D&D, there is still that aspect. This is what we've been talking about. D&D we've been talking about this for 4 fucking years. It does deserve a digital aspect, but to my knowledge, his plan was to turn it into a digital product entirely.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
So. But I think one of the things it
doesn't follow the same formula as an Axis and Allies or a Risk or a Monopoly.
Actually, I gotta say you're wrong on that, because they do follow one common formula.
Mm-hmm.
They're all generational games. There's few games that you could say each generation plays it. There's very few.
Yeah, but how does that change how?
Because they mistakenly associate things by a generational assumption and not looking at like popularity and generational association.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, I hate playing Monopoly now. It's boring to me.
Yeah.
But yet I can remember being 7 and playing Monopoly with a grandparent. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
I can remember being 20 and playing Monopoly with my kids. I can remember being 35 and playing Monopoly with friends. So it's like, there's generational association. I think they assume that nostalgia is the success of D&D, when really it's not the nostalgia of the game. It's the love of the game itself. Nostalgia is Risk and Monopoly and Sorry and Chutes and Ladders, right? That's nostalgia. And I think they just assume that an entire giant electronic platform, was going to benefit for all generational nostalgia-based games. And I think they just got it fucking wrong. They just got it wrong.
Well, it's when you change the DNA of the game, that's, game over for me.
Well, and it's interesting because, like, we were talking about this before.
And I think that's what they were doing. To my point, that's what they were doing, or I think that was their goal with D&D, was they were trying to change the DNA of the game itself.
Well, I also think they made a mistake in buying D&D Beyond. They shit the bed. Yeah, I mean, they made a mistake buying D&D Beyond. They thought D&D Beyond was a finished product. They thought D&D Beyond was going to be a panacea for a digital, platform that they wanted to integrate into their digital plan. And I think when they bought it, they just realized it was a giant licensing database. They're like, holy shit, this isn't even really a digital platform. It's just this giant.
I don't even think they could have been that fucking stupid to not know what they were.
Agreements.
I don't even think they could have been that stupid to not know.
Ye give them way too much credit, my friend.
Understatement.
Way too much credit.
Well, all right.
Look, I mean, I've seen corporate.
I'm not going to argue. I mean, it's. I mean, we've said it so many times before. I still contend that they should have curated a proper online digital community built on what they
thought they did. They thought they bought one.
Well, then they're fucking stupid.
They thought they bought one when they bought D&D Beyond.
They're really fucking dumb. Then they're really fucking dumb, because it is the furthest thing from them.
Yeah, it's just a big database filled with content and associated license agreements. It's all it really is.
It's a play aid and GM aid.
Mm-hmm. Although it's much more players. Aid. And it's kind of worthless for me, but I do enjoy reading my content digitally, so I don't have to carry around 42 books everywhere I go. I'm okay with that.
Remember that as a kid? Like, go over to my friend's house and
I remember going to garage sales and buying tackle boxes that were used, at garage sales, and I'd clean them out and I'd use those to carry all my shit, because they'd have these really cool, sorted collapsible trays, right? You could put things in the bottom, and then you put all your minis, and you had these cool, so I'd have like 4 tackle boxes in my trunk. I'd have terrain in my trunk. I'd have 25 books in my trunk, all these modules, my dice, everything ready to go. I'd roll up and, we play from, 6 a.m. on Saturday until Monday on midnight. We would just play. That's all we did.
Funny thing is, I still have a ton of that shit when I go to play.
Yeah, I got other people's shit. Some of it's mine, but yeah.
when I GM, if I'm going to do the whole kit and caboodle and it's on site somewhere, oh my God, I've got so much crap because I've got fucking Milwaukee boxes full of Dwarven Forge, which weighs, that stuff is.
Yeah, that's a money waster. Or I regret ever buying that stuff. That was such a money waster.
I don't regret it. I still enjoy using it. I don't think I'm going to buy anymore because it's too fucking expensive. It's
too expensive, and it's just not a mobile product. It's just not like with the way 3D, with the way 3D printing is now, I could print a whole city. It's going to weigh less than two of their walls.
Weight is a huge. I mean, it's good and bad because those things are fucking indestructible. You can run over them with your car, but consequently,
because that's a common threat amongst us gamers.
I often play in a parking lot underneath moving trucks, Jason.
Well, that might be a opportunity for lithium or some kind of, pill associated solution to your obvious psycho.
Yeah, it weighs a ton. It's fucking expensive as shit. I really do like the product. I do. I like what I have.
And that's why
another thing, they keep doing, they run out of the shit constantly. That's what pisses me off. They have these, everything goes out of stock. They put it back in stock and it's immediately out of stock again. Like it's just, yeah, exactly. Hold on. There we go. That's my biggest pet peeve is it's too hard to get what you want when you want it. But the other stuff too, it's cost prohibitive. It weighs a fucking ton. So,
I've always felt that, and we should do another segment on Dwarven Forge and talk about how these manufacturers should really be doing introductory kind of sets. Something that gets people started down the path. It's kind of that's my complaint about Wormwood. It's like, don't sell me a $20,000 table or a $150 single set dice box. I mean, I don't know. Maybe sell me $25 worth of cool wood tokens that I could use in my game. I don't know. Everyone's just out for the money grab. They
get it. And there's quality, and there's no doubt that manufacturing, having become what it is, there's no doubt the quality of stuff out there, whether it's Dwarven Forge or Wormwood, there's no question about the quality. But you're right. Is it worth $1,000 worth of terrain to have, 2 maps set up or $10,000 for a gaming table? It's like, it's not very realistic. I don't know how many of those tables they sell, but I can't imagine it's that many.
Well, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of crazy.
Dwarven Forge did, in my opinion, is, if I'm not mistaken, they were the ones that brought magnets into the mainstream and the metal bases. That is,
I think that's been around in general through custom people that were doing it themselves,
right?
But they definitely mainstreamed it. They built it into their product.
The Warlock tiles from WizKids are really useful, and you can make great, especially like buildings, taverns, stuff like that. But
I've got an 8-room tavern built on my shelf right over there, fully decked out.
Tell me how much you enjoy pulling that shit apart and putting it back together with those fucking clips.
You know what? I got rid of all my first generation clips and went out there and bought the second and third generation clips. It's totally easy now. It's not even a problem.
What are those?
So the first generation were those really hard white, yellow looking clips. The new generation is white and gray. They're softer. So there's
it's still a pain in the ass.
Oh no, it's super easy, man.
You can't do it on the fly. You gotta get that stuff.
I do it on the fly all the time. It's probably your arthritis.
I disagree. It's too hard to put that stuff. If those
shake when you do it, is that the problem?
Yeah, it shakes. Can you see it shaking? If WizKids made those things magnetic, obviously the price would fucking go up. But if those were magnetic,
already gone up demonstrably. So I got a full town kit, or a dungeon kit, right? When it was like $65 back in the day.
Yeah.
When they first came out with that series. Now they're $115 a set. So, And to me, they're not worth it anymore because I bought everything I needed. And now I can go to Thingiverse and print exact replicas of their items. and use them in my games and stuff. So it's like, once again, it's that, I know I'm a niche person when it comes to consumption of this stuff. But it's just, everybody out there needs an introductory something. Just, put together some really cool minis for $12, or $15, a really fun set. Like when I was at the game store today, this new game store. By the way, it's called the Hungry Dragon.
The Hungry Dragon, and where is that?
Yeah, because it's a cafe and game store. So super cool name, really cool design. I'll share it in my Instagram feed probably tomorrow when I am more focused. But there was a set of minis on their top shelf that I didn't recognize, and they're brand new. He said they just got them in. I gotta look up who the manufacturer is, but you got these like 5 really cool, uniquely sculpted mini sets.
I think I just saw those, and I can't recall the name either. Yeah, I can't recall the name either. But
I was like, holy shit! I didn't need the 3 sets they had though, because I already have a good undead collection. I already have a pretty good. The pirate collection had a great pirate figure, but the other figures I didn't really need. So it was more of a need thing. But they looked amazing. They had that War Machine sculpted look, which I like. War Machine sculpts. I think they look pretty amazing. And make great minis.
You know what they need to do is, whether it's minis or terrain tiles, everything should be a la carte, and it should be priced accordingly. You want 1 4x4 tile, $1. Buy 50 of those.
Yeah, but you can't be in the industry that way. At corporate levels of distribution, I order 100,000 of something to get it for like a penny and a half. So
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, 3D printing has changed the very scale of all this for sure.
Yeah, WizKids stuff. I like their larger monsters. Those I'll still buy. I will not buy any.
Well, their price point's still not that bad for their larger.
The price point is great. I just can't stand. They don't paint well. That pre-primed, they paint up like shit. The smaller.
That's not a skill that I possess. So I'm gonna,
Yeah, the large. Yeah, I see. I agree. The large monsters are great, but any of the characters, the small stuff, I won't touch them anymore.
Yeah, and I think the other challenge too is it's a really weird shift in the price point. So like all their mid-tier monster stuff, either in blister or in the boxes, seem to be good price points, but their dragons went from like $35.95 up to like $85 and $95.
Well, that is $350 fucking dollars.
Yeah, I got it for $225 when it first came out. So yeah, I saved a bundle. I got the Tarrasque up in Washington when I traveled with the wife. Got that for $200 before it's went up to $400. So
Jay, what's up? Jay from Jay's Tabletop. He says don't sleep on the pre-painted. They've improved a lot in the past year.
Yeah, I've heard that too. Yeah, I've heard that.
You know what? That's a fair point. I'll take a look at them next time I go into the shop. And
I would love to know how they do it in the manufacturing process. Like
painting?
Yeah, because they do the model and then actually send it through a sprayer system, and then they spray and they bake it and let it dry properly. Like, it feels like to me that I suck at primering models. I do all the things wrong. I get too close because I'm getting high as fuck. So I'm like, and I start drifting in on the model because I'm fucking high. I'm like, I'm not getting. And then when I'm done,
you wake up and there's a dwarf.
Yeah, the best part is I'll finish. I'll look at it, and the model is just it's just a giant thing of coagulated primer. You can't even fucking see the model anymore.
I used to never prime, to be honest, because to me, priming is just another layer of paint, and all you do is all the corporate talk. Yeah, how do we get back to minis?
We always do this. We start,
I know.
we transition, we tangent, and then we go, oh, it's been a half hour already.
But I've started priming properly with both white and black, and I've been using an airbrush. And I printed this up the other day. It's Eldritch Knight,
That's awesome. What scale is that?
It's like 75 millimeter. I've been painting up the larger stuff because it's so awesome to paint. But
it's awfully selfish of you.
You can see I've been priming in black and then doing a light.
But see, that would make a great
light source.
That'd make a great giant model too. Like if you wanted to make it like a giant model. Oh, that's pretty cool. That's on your printer, right? Your resin printer?
Yes, which I fucking love.
See, I was right. You just gotta listen to me, bro.
What did you say?
I nagged you. I kept nagging you about getting back to printing and back to painting.
Oh yeah, I know.
Like, you were so fucking down on it.
Part of it, I wasn't down on it. I just didn't have.
You were lazy.
I wasn't lazy. I was busy.
You were pretty lazy.
It was a combination of lazy, combination of
there you go. See,
and a combination of I could never get my fucking filament printer to work ever. I sold it. I printed one test print off.
Well,
of it and could
when
never
we did that episode, when we did that episode on printers, and we were really having that really good conversation about filament, resin, like all the different things out there. Filament's really only good with one type of printing that's reliable. And that's terrain printing. It's good. It's cheap. You can get a lot of shit done. Lawfully chaotic Wizards of the Coast.
I'll take that on. Absolutely.
But I got my workshop organized and restructured. I just got to run power to it, and I can finally start doing some resin prints because it's an outdoor freight container. One of those containers. Yeah. And I redid it, got it all cleaned up, and now I just got to run power to it. I may even put in a solar system. I haven't decided yet, but
that's cool.
I'll finally be able to start doing resin sculpts, hopefully by the end of this year.
I mean, have you done it before?
Not resin, no.
So I don't know if you can see it. Whoa! Don't follow me that far.
See, you got the gentleman DM's new camera that follows you, right?
Did. I shut that off.
Now it won't follow you. That's awesome.
No, this camera is freaking fantastic, but that's another show.
It's way better than your old camera because your old camera was garbage.
It is. This is worth every single penny of $300. Believe me.
Yeah. It's the ones I've been looking at too.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about making it my new narrative camera in the future, but
yeah. For those of you who care, it's the Instalink 360. But anyway, I've got the resin printer over here, and it's a small office, but I've got 3 air purifiers going, and I open the door in the summer. And what I did before I even bought it is I really looked into the process of the prep and the cleanup and all that, and I got everything I needed beforehand and basically set up, here's how I'm going to do all the cleanup step by step.
Yeah.
And that was a huge help because, watching a bunch of videos and knowing that it's not nearly as bad as I thought it was, which is why
you have to do the whole cure thing where you cure it with the UV light and all that.
I wash it. I've talked to Dragon Painter. He gave me a few tips. Dragon Painter 468, Andy Warnking. You wash it you do a wash, you cure it, all of that stuff.
So Bearded Nerd,
yes, it's good for
Brian's in my Sunday morning game, and ever since he's gotten this new Instalink 360, it's been fabulous. There's no more pixelation, there's no more of the blur, the interblur, the focus cycle's a lot quicker.
Yep, I can zoom in on my dice. You can set preset.
See, it's the presets that have me interested, because if I use my narrative camera as a 360, and then eventually use it as my battle cam, I can use the presets for the battle cam.
Yeah,
I can do the angular pans to the different parts of the table and stuff like that, because a lot of times I'll have multiple things pre-built, ready to go, so I can do, I can do pre-captures of the presets, and I don't have to get up and fuck with the camera anymore. So I may, once I pay off a couple of bills I've been wanting to get paid off before the summer, I'm thinking that camera's going to be on my wish list.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's pricey, but it's well worth it.
I don't know, man. $300 for once again, whenever I do my GM coaching and my GM tutorials, I talk about, as long as a tool has multifunction, it's worth the investment. The presets, the zooming, the clarity, the fact you don't have to touch it anymore.
Not only that, but the software works flawlessly.
Yeah, and
that's another thing. That's why I quit using all the Logitech shit, because on a Mac, their software is fucking useless.
Yeah,
so
it really is.
Renders their wonderful hardware garbage. So
speaking of hot, steamy garbage.
All right, I guess we're moving on to topic number 2.
Yeah, let's talk about how enthused I was to finally get my hands on Daggerheart and have some fun with it. And the 1.2 dock was brilliant. It was a really pretty dock, very well developed. I treat that as the original dock for all intents and purposes. They could call it 1.2, but they might as well just call it the 1.0 beta dock. Naming conventions mean a lot to me because it helps me organize and do things in a way, right? I can take the document, leave it whole, and then also take it and break it apart in my OneNote to make it easier for me to organize it in the way I want to use it for the purposes of my games.
Yeah.
I was really shocked that the 1.3 doc came out. It was way too soon. Way too soon for that document to come out. Sorry, but it was. I know versioning, and I know, when stuff should come out. Right.
So let me just to clarify, let me just ask, are you upset with the actual changes they made or the way they presented it?
No, it's more behavior than the actual changes. In fact, we did a fun thing last Monday where we were going to sit around this Monday, actually. It was this Monday. I went into total funk when I realized it wasn't going to work. We, the players, sat around and reviewed each other's characters and rule sets. I thought it would only take 10 minutes to do it with everybody. They liked the changes, but the behavioral omission of standardized documentation with a versioning.
See, this is where your IT
absolutely. And I don't care if I don't care if it's IT, gaming, film, storyboard, right? There's a documentation principle and tactic that's been working for the last 20 years very well, and there's no reason to change it. I don't care how lazy you get, right? You keep the one document intact. You could go ahead and call your first couple pages your change log, which is fine, but you better put fucking hyperlinks in there. You better make sure you have a versioning management system in your doc so that you can just point and click and jump to your changes, so that when you review shit with people, you're not wasting fucking countless hours cross-referencing multi-pages because they didn't want to put links or put change referencing directly in the document. I was like, you know what? That's just lazy. It's lazy. It's being in a hurry. It's fucking lazy. And it's because they probably thought no one was going to care. And maybe they don't know, but I haven't been on the Discord for a while to find out. So,
and I'm not discounting what you're saying, but I'm guessing you are probably in the minority. Is that most
maybe, I don't know. I mean, if you're a player, you're probably not going to care. If you're a player versus a GM, right? If you're a GM, you better fucking care. You better fucking care. But if you're a player, I just print out my class and and boom, I'm good. I don't have to give a fuck about the rest of the shit. It's the GM's problem.
I suspect a lot of people are just tossing 1.2, printing 1.3, and here's the new rules. But I get what you're saying because I haven't had a chance to read through it yet because of life shit going on. But I did start to skim it, and the very first thing, I'm excited to read it. I did read the changelog, some of the stuff that changed, and pretty much all of it I'm down with.
Yeah.
Especially the gold. That was really rubbing a lot of people the wrong way. It's like, hey, here's a handful of gold. How much is that? I don't fucking. So I'm glad they changed that. I kind of like the way they had advantage and disadvantage, where you added a d6, and now instead you just roll double hope dice, which actually is kind of cool because you can also have somebody else do advantage. I like that.
They're brilliant because they're listening to the community.
Yeah.
You know, they're there to go.
But I will say that one of the first things that struck me was, where is other than just the change log at the front, it's hard to sift through and find all the new shit in depth.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, but
and that's the part that bothered me.
Fair, yeah, and again, not discounting what you're saying, but to be fair, that should be a minor road bump, speed bump.
It should,
because the content is still, they're doing it the right way.
Here's the reason why it matters. There's this
thing it doesn't matter.
Well,
at first,
at first it's going to feel like it's not a big deal, but there's this process you go through called comparative analysis, right? So as your version doc gets multiple layers to it, the previous versions become very important to your decision-making process. So what are they going to do? Have, what if we get to 1.8 and they have 8 different change logs? It doesn't make any sense. It's like,
you're right.
master document and follow standard versioning procedures. Yeah, it came out too soon. Sorry, it did.
No, there's nothing wrong with making that statement. I don't disagree.
The other thing I think they could have done better is they could have really showed their appreciation to the community and isolated the parts that 1.2 would have benefited from. Ignore character changes. Don't worry about character changes yet. Give that its own space. Yeah. And then instead of calling it 1.2 or 1.3, or instead of calling it 1.3, just release an addendum, right? Just say, hey, here is the duality, hope, and fear addendum.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
That's way you don't feel overwhelmed.
Where my head was going when I thought, I just want a document with the full rules, not just a list of what changed, but the full list of what changed by itself. So,
I love the change to stress, right? I was a little worried that the stress economy was going to be overwhelming for both players and the GMs, but they upped it to a base 6, and the damage threshold below minor no longer causes stress, because monsters in situations were already going to do that. And we did a combat here in the studio, and there was a couple players that maxed out their stress pretty quickly. It happens pretty quickly with the way the duality dice were working. The other thing I liked that they changed was that if the player rolls with fear during combat, I don't have to immediately take over. I finally get the choice as a GM to determine I don't want to. Whereas the previous mechanic said I had to, which meant I couldn't do economy of the fear. So don't get me wrong. They're making smart, reflective choices about their changes. They're just rolling it out very poorly.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's my only challenge I have with it.
I guess that is very fair. I guess my view is, eventually that won't matter. When the book is published, eventually that won't matter. The stuff that they are focusing on is the actual content.
And that's what I'm saying. I think they're kind of making it harder on themselves.
Yeah.
It's organize your changes in a more simplistic way and say, look, man, all these people are already playing with their characters. Yeah. Let's make this 1.2a document just a core mechanic change for
and that way you reference another document still, but you don't have to reference 300 pages of it.
It's just that appendix change that you make.
That I agree with. Yeah.
So once again, creatives like yourself just aren't very good at documentation. I get it.
You know what? I don't have an argument for that. That's why we have project managers.
Holy shit! You know what? Yeah, that's why you have people that manage shit like that, and they should know
Yeah.
better. It makes me feel like for their beta release, they don't really have a beta side project manager to control that documentation, and that they're kind of all doing it as a collective.
No, they may be approaching it from a more traditional publishing standpoint rather than a software style standpoint. I think.
Well, no, it's not about how you do it. All project management's the same, whether it's for a construction company, whether it's for software, whether it's for distribution, whether it's for engineering, whether it's for project management is not.
But I'm talking about the versioning system that you're talking about.
No, it's pretty standard, man, for everybody. There's a reason you do it, because you want to make sure you have a firm grip and a good way to relate to your data changes, and your item changes, your strike throughs, and the reasons why you do things. It also makes it easier for the community to stay involved.
Oh, of course.
Because rather than getting lost in the new 500 pages, they could consume those small amounts of changes and then immediately try them out and then give immediate feedback.
Well, you know what? It is a beta. Maybe bring that up. I mean, seriously.
Well, beta also means submissive, so I'm going to let that go.
And on that note, Jason, we're thank you. Well, first of all, thank you all for joining us.
Yeah, we did it again. I don't know how we eat up 45 minutes, man, but we do.
It's good conversation, brother. Anyway, thank you all for joining us, both here on Instagram and if you're watching this after the fact on VOD. Thank you. Jason, where can we find you?
You can find me over at TTRPG Academy, over at Linktree. You can find me on the Twitches, the YouTubes, and the Instagrams. I'm usually there either sharing my table, playing our live games in studio, or my Sunday remote game that I play with Fool's Errand. Come and hang out. It's lots of fun.
Cool. You can find me at RPG and Co on Instagram. That's the best place to get a hold of me. DM me. I love chatting with people. Check out the website, Play RPG and Co. There's a lot of cool stuff there. And otherwise, you could find me Sunday playing Dungeons and Dragons with you. And on that note, TPK.
Tell a story.
Play a game.
Be kind. Good night, everybody.
Later.